Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is my run of the new 3.4 Apocalyptic Shadow, and boy, this boss is a doozy. I'm gonna be trying to do this video a little bit differently from my endgame runs because I'm actually gonna pause like this. And I'm actually going to explain what's happening to you, and I'm also going to be drawing if it's necessary. This is the first point of optimization, right? You want RMC to get her turn, or I guess his turn if you used Kailos. You want RMC's turn before Flame Reaver acts, so you could summon Mem. And since Mem starts at 93 charges, 2 hits from Flame Reaver would mean 100%, which would advance Aglaea. Go. Summon Aglaea here. Now, before we go any further, I want to talk about the crux of this fight. The test here is you really know how much damage your DPS does. If your DPS can one-shot, they are pretty much good for this entire fight. If they can't, then it's gonna suck a lot. And because of that, my Aglaea here is not built with energy rope. She's not built with speed. She's purely on crit investment and attack rope. It's all just damaging stats for her. The main thing here is that I don't need to worry about Aglaea's energy because she kills fast enough to get enough energy on her own. And especially with these two action advance supports, she's gonna get enough energy on her own as it is anyway. This is simply a boss that demands you know how much damage your DPS actually does, and it has to be really high to the point that it can one-shot and hit a damage threshold. Anyway, let's continue.
Trust me. We can do anything.
So my experiment here, basic attack on Aglaea. This will take half the enemy's health, and if your Aglaea can do that, then she's good. They're half their health. For me, it was enough to clear, so for you, it's probably also going to be able to clear. Okay, so I'm going to explain the mechanics here. So I killed one of Flame Reaver's clones with just a simple basic attack, and you notice Flame Reaver's toughness bar gets absolutely nuked. Now, why is this important, right? Once Flame Reaver depletes his first toughness bar, he enters like a mini phase that, it isn't exactly a phase, but it's a mini phase where he then starts to do different stuff. And you want to get to this mini phase as fast as possible because it has the most of his mechanics that allow you to do a lot of damage. You can see there, I was confident on my Aglaea doing her basic attack and being able to kill. And I'm also confident on my Aglaea just doing that and breaking Reaver pretty soon. There you go. Now here's gonna be an important part. I failed to mention, but this boss is also testing how well you know action how well you know action value works, right? So there you go. So first of all, once you broke him, you saw him advance, right? And when he does that, he summons 4 clones. You can see them right there in the action value bar. Let me play it a little. And you notice he spawns them at a very short interval. My Aglaea can't even act. And this is fairly important because if my Aglaea can't act before this clone has this crosshair, right? If you kill this clone has less HP than the others, you will gain an extra turn, which is huge because this mechanic allows you to bully Flame Reaver and get a lot of action value when you otherwise wouldn't. And so, the challenge here is killing this thing before it acts. Because if it acts, you can see it right there, it's very tight space of time. He drains his own HP. You see Flame Reaver has like 6 stacks there. And Flame Reaver absorbs it back and it becomes 7. So you really want to kill those clones as fast as possible, or you want to time it in such a way where you're 1 step ahead of them. There we go, another one gets spawned. Now, I'm not exactly sure on the spawning mechanics here, but when you're faced with this situation here where you have 4 Reaver clones, if you kill one, a extra turn clone shows up again. I'm not sure on the consistency of it because sometimes that's not true, but that's what I've experienced in this run.
You can do it.
Now this is just... There we go. I couldn't really do anything about that clone that got away, so might as well just keep doing this, right? Okay, my Aglaea's damage there was weak, but that's because she didn't have the true damage buff, but now that she has, I'm very reliably going to one-shot. There, I killed 2 clones there, and a couple of things happen. The stacks it lowered to 5. Flame Reaver, who's hiding behind his 4 clones, also takes toughness damage. So killing 2 clones, not at the same time. It's fine if you do it separately, but killing 2 clones will drain his toughness bar. So, here comes the bullying phase. Use Sunday. There we go. And this is the perfect situation to bully Flame Reaver. My Aglaea has a lot of energy, and this is enough energy for me to get her ult pretty soon. I have Bronya's buffs, which lasts a pretty long time because of the extra turn. There we go. And now, we're gonna be one-shotting a lot. I killed 2 there, including the extra turn clone, so I'm gonna get an extra turn. I'm also gonna get quite a bit of energy, and I drained his toughness again. Now since I killed 2, an extra turn clone shows up again, and I just keep repeating the process. Now, this is an important part. He's at 1 stack, and when he reaches 0 stacks, he will advance his turn and then hit me with a pretty strong attack. Especially for a Sustainless team, sometimes you can't afford that, right? So what am I gonna do here? Well, Aglaea is a pretty unique character because her ultimate gives you a 100% action advance, much like Herta, right? So here we have... There we go. I activated it, but Aglaea is still on an extra turn, so it's just kind of queued up there. Here we go. I killed a clone, which will reduce his stacks to 0, and then... Boom. He advances. But, since I've already queued up Aglaea's ult, I cut him off here. And because of this, I can just keep bullying him. And you know what I said, right? If you kill 2 clones, he keeps reducing his toughness. If I do that enough times, he's gonna get broken and he's not even gonna hit me. So watch it. Watch this right here. Boom. His toughness got drained. Another extra turn showed up. Bad luck. There you go. Toughness drained once again. And boom. Killed 3 at the same time. That's enough to nuke his toughness bar for sure. And there you go. Another free Aglaea ult, which is another free Aglaea turn. So yeah, this boss has a pretty high optimization ceiling. And if you know what you're doing with your action value, and specifically your action advances, how much damage your DPS actually does, if you're confident in it, and if your relics are good enough, yeah, you gain a lot from this stage. It's a very mechanically strong fight that asks you how well you know your numbers, right? Okay, you're about to see something really unfortunate. Oh, that's such a waste. Okay, there we go. So once Reaver enters his second phase, he just does the entire thing again. You just do what you did at the start. And yeah, nothing much else to say there. Yeah, you just kill the clones, drain his toughness by killing the clones, and then you... There we go. You find the perfect action value position to break him. This is absolutely perfect. And I also have a perfect mem setup here. So, because Bronya does her skill, right? Her skill is 30 energy, which is 3 charges per mem. Sunday got advanced, but because mem got 100 charges, she's gonna cut Sunday off. Which is gonna lead to more Aglaea turns. 1 more Aglaea turn, actually. And by doing so, I can break Flame Reaver right here. And I don't have to worry about the clones outpacing Sunday because he's at 0 action value. Oh, pretty nifty, right? There we go, advance, then he summons his clones, but Sunday's right there, so we don't have to worry about it. See? Now we just bully Flame Reaver again. Yeah, just look at this. Unfortunately, this time I can't avoid the attack forever because, yeah, it was just not well timed enough. I'm sure if somebody out there can actually do that, but I can't. I couldn't. There, now 0 stacks, and yeah, I need to tank this hit, but since I avoided the hit the first time, I avoided the AoE the first phase, so this just did nothing, to be honest. So I'm fine. In my previous tries, RMC got knocked out. It's fine. Really, RMC is the most disposable when she dies in that like huge AoE attack. If your Sunday dies, your Aglaea just doesn't do enough damage and can't get enough advances. You can get away with Bronya dying sometimes, but it's preferable if she stays alive. And if your Aglaea is dead, just reset the run. There's no hope in that. So yeah, we're about to finish off this fight right here because there's just enough toughness damage for this to get broken, and yeah. This is one of the highest scores I've ever had in APOC, to be honest. Like difficulty 4, because there's a lot of optimization here. I played this for 7 hours, so I guess it wouldn't be like... I guess it's no surprise that I've actually learned how this fight goes because it took me 7 hours to do so. But, you know, it's fine. It's fine, by the way, that he enters this phase because, you know, I'm just gonna break him. Like, no issue. I just need to kill one more clone, and yeah. It's GG, right? Toughness is broken, and there you go. But yeah, that's my Aglaea run. This was really fun. I spent quite a bit of time optimizing Aglaea's builds just to see which build can one-shot the best. And it turns out the Glamoth set that I had lying around was actually the best one. It wasn't the Banana Amusement that I just farmed. Which is... I would have never guessed that, but there you go. Aglaea run done. 3.6k points. Okay, here's the second team. It's Wheelchair. Unfortunately, it's not as... This fight, we've already seen this before. It's not as interesting of a fight as Flame Reaver because, of course, it's an old fight. And there's so many answers to this boss at this point. And the best answer for this boss is incredibly free-to-play friendly. Like, if you have Ron May, Gallagher, and Harmony MC, that's basically half the solution. This was a boss that was made on the break meta, so you know exactly what type of team is the best here. So if you have like Firefly, this is the easiest stage in the world. If you're having trouble with builds in the Flame Reaver fight, you can easily catch up here. If you have Boot Hill, he can Sustainless this, and it's a pretty fun time. I don't know if you could use Rappa because it's not Imaginary Weak, but I'm sure some people can do it. I guess you could use like Lingshaw, Super Break, Hyper Carry with like Fugue, HMC, and Ron May. I guess you can do that too. There's a lot of options for this. There's nothing really interesting here. And there's nothing interesting with this team either. It's Wheelchair. It's like the most basic gameplay you've ever seen. Just manage your SP. The only thing that I remember here is I would actually check Blade's status page multiple times to see if his HP tally is maxed out before I use his ult. So yeah. Oh, and also, Silverwolf is in slot 1 because without her Quantum Implant, Tribbie doesn't hit as hard. And Tribbie, you know how Wheelchair works, right? Tribbie actually does contribute a fair amount of damage, so in my experience, putting Quantum Weakness Implant over Wind Weakness Implant turned out to be better for my damage overall. So there's some alternatives here. The only reason why, not gonna lie, the only reason why I used Silverwolf was, well, she has pretty good personal damage, but also I couldn't use Sunday because Aglaea took it. But yeah. I also put Silverwolf in slot 1 to implant Quantum Weakness because Silverwolf's own damage is also pretty relevant nowadays because of her rework, so I'm boosting Tribbie and Silverwolf more because their damage actually matters quite a bit. Whereas with Hyacine and Blade, not all of the enemies are wind res, so they're fine with this. And also, if you implant Quantum, it turns out better because Tribbie does a fairly good amount of toughness damage herself anyway. That's pretty cool, right? Nothing much else to say about this fight. I think there really is nothing much else I can say about this fight. I'll see you guys later once the build showcase comes up, okay? Bye-bye.
We like you. Lay this. Dispel the gloom. Destroy the sky.
Unnecessary. Fail to send you.
This combat needs optimizing. This is double speed. Is it coming? I feel less blade. Let me go!
A blade knows no mercy. Your end approaches.
Can I have fun this time for a buzz? Have some sunshine. Good as new. Watch closely. More enemies. Time for a buzz. This is double speed.
That paradise, savor it for me. Fail to send you.
It's coming. I feel less blade. Let me go! This combat needs. This is double speed. Please lay this. Dispel the gloom. Destroy the skies. Show me the way. Can I have fun this time for a buzz? Underestimating us will cost you. What's news?
Fail to send you.
Time for a buzz. This is double speed.
That paradise, savor it for me.
Okay, so let's look at our builds now. Here's my node 1. So like I said, Aglaea is fully into damage investment, all crit, all attack, no speed, no energy rope, just full investment into offensive stats. She's E0. RMC, 171 speed. I'm pretty sure you can get away with 160. There we go, not, speed set, doesn't matter actually. We have Sunday, so the thing about this team is you want Sunday to be faster than Bronya, so that Bronya can advance Sunday back, right? That's how it works. Bronya's using the March Cone right there. I should have leveled it to level 80, so I didn't have to do so much RNG, but yeah. So if you look at my side 2 there, Silverwolf is E0. He has tutorial, obviously. One of the best Lycones in the game, not gonna lie. And she's in a sub DPS build with ERR rope. Here's Blade, his E1. He's the most... No, he's not the most expensive character in my count. That would be Ron May. But yeah, he's E1. And yeah, just built speed. A pretty good amount of speed, but yeah. Here's Tribbie, built sub DPS with DDDS5. I kind of want to point out that that stage was not in favor of wheelchair at all, but it still managed to clear somehow. That's kind of crazy. And there you go. Cool, right? So that's my entire run. I hope you found this helpful, especially the guide, and I'll see you guys later. Bye bye.